Take them or leave them, but by 2020, the millennials will make up a third of all adults in the United States.
You may know one, millennials lacking life skills like cooking, budgeting, or time management.
They're not interested in owning a house.
Many millennials say buying a home these days is just not an option.
She is calling millennials the burnout generation.
According to a new study, millennials say that the term snowflake is in fact harmful to their mental health.
Millennials hate this shit. They hate it.
Welcome to another episode of Millennial Malarkey. My name is Adam.
My name is Alec.
My name is Andrew.
And I'm Jesse. Today's local story, we're wondering what Reese's flavor is the best. Top contenders, Fast Break, Nutrageous, and King Sticks. Your opinions, they matter. Call us. Let us know at our Twitter. That's at Malarkey.
It sounds like she done that with like .com.
I wanted to. and then it felt empty inside when I did.
No, it was good. It was a solid start.
I liked it. Well, if the whole toilet engineering thing doesn't work out, Jesse, I think you might have something in like
voiceover.
What do they
work?
call it? Yeah, media or whatever.
Listen, first of all, I want to clear up two things about that. You might be right. I have wonderful tombras and retorts that come out of my mouth. Two,
hey,
where else would they come out of?
It's 2019.
Exactly.
We're not supposed to use that word anymore.
Oh my god. And then, well, what's the other thing I was going to say?
I don't know.
The other thing I
wanted such great retorts.
Yeah, you're not really proving your point.
The other thing I wanted to say is that you said toilet engineer. I'd like to clarify that to very, very high temperature toilet engineer. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
like after Taco Bell?
Like Taco Bell from the sun.
Speaking of really hot, do you guys know what the hottest planet is in our solar system?
Venus.
Venus.
Yep. Jesse got it.
Wait, is it really?
Yes, it is.
Why isn't it Mercury?
It's probably because it's in retrograde.
The greenhouse effect.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, do we pollute Venus too?
We're getting there.
It used to have an atmosphere, I think. That's what they said.
Honestly, yes, we have polluted Venus. We have launched like probes and stuff. We've basically taken trash and just like thrown it at the planet. So technically, yeah.
No joke. In one of my astrophysics classes, we had a problem, and it was like third level mechanics, where I think it was like the whole UV thing for energy conservation and stuff. But the problem we had to work through is like, you've got a bunch of trash on Earth. Does it take more energy, or is it more energy efficient to just like hurl the trash into the sun to get rid of it, or just eject it from our solar system completely? So I think it ended up being more energy efficient to throw it into the sun, but I can't swear to that.
Yeah, but that's because you have to. That's a lot of energy to get it out, because there's a lot of things that will attract it and keep it in.
Oh, yeah, definitely, like
should
magnets.
Get back on topic.
Okay, well, fine. Let the nerds play every once in a while.
Mostly with our action figures, occasionally with our minds.
Right. Anyway, Alec, what is our topic for today?
Well, Disney Plus is coming out in a few days. I think we should talk about that.
I would
Absolutely.
love to.
First of all, I want to know, do you guys want to get it?
I'm actually very seriously considering getting it. Not just Disney Plus, but also for their the bundle. Was it Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus? Because I could honestly see myself using all three of those platforms.
Yeah, so I think that one is like $12.99, so it's like $13 a month, which is cheaper than some of the Netflix bundles. Yeah. So it's like, why would you not do that?
That's $12.99 a month with Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN?
ESPN Plus, yeah. It's like you can get like live games and whatever else, I think.
Yeah, I have ESPN Plus right now, but like I think isn't like just Hulu alone without ads already like $13 a month?
No, Hulu I actually don't know. Without ads it might be.
With ads it's like $6, which is what I do because I'm cheap. But I think without ads it's like 13. So wow, that's crazy.
Well, yeah, so like Adam, you have Sprint Unlimited, right?
I wish.
No, you don't.
Womp womp.
I was gonna say you get Hulu with that, and then on top of that, like you get.
We switched a while ago.
Oh, are you completely off Sprint?
Oh no. So we switched from the unlimited plan.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, there's so many times I wish we were still on the unlimited, but it's just cheaper to be not on the unlimited, especially because I don't think my family was using that much data. But anyways.
Yeah, so Hulu is part of that because Hulu is like partially owned by Fox. So now Disney partially owns Hulu. So that's why they're able to do that, because obviously Disney owns Disney Plus, Disney partially owns Hulu, and Disney owns ABC, ABC owns ESPN. Disney owns everything essentially. So that's why they're getting away with that deal like that. But yeah, so Disney Plus has some like, there's a Star Wars show coming out. There's a lot of Marvel shows coming out.
I'm excited for the Loki one.
Yeah, totally.
The Loki show, doesn't it? Jesse, you'd probably know more than me, but doesn't it? What movies is it between? Do you know?
The Loki film?
Oh.
Not the film. It's going to be a TV show.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was a movie.
No. It's a TV show, and I'm pretty sure it's going to follow like the alternate timeline from. This is your spoiler warning for Avengers Endgame. If for some reason you haven't seen that movie that came out like 6 months ago.
Why haven't you seen it? Go see it.
Yeah. So Loki grabs the Tesseract in that like alternate timeline and like bails. He just goes away. He like uses it to teleport away. I think the show is going to follow him like with his like, antics gallivanting through the universe. So I think it'll be like an alternate timeline thing where he doesn't end up dying like 5 or 6 years later, whatever it is.
That'd be awesome. But as far as Marvel shows that they're doing, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yep.
How dope is that going to be? Pretty dope. They're also doing Hawkeye.
Yeah, so I don't know now because there's a lot of allegations that have come out against Jeremy Renner about him like threatening to kill his ex-wife, and obviously, I don't know what the situation is there.
Real life Jeremy Renner?
Yeah, like his ex-wife was like,
what?
Have you guys not seen that?
No.
Was he threatening to kill her with like a bow and arrow or like with his hands?
Oh my god. No, with a gun. Like one of her claims is that he like
arrows.
waved a gun at her, like threatened to kill her. At one point had the gun in his mouth, threatened to kill himself. That's what she said. Obviously it's hard to say whether or not that actually happened, but it's definitely not sitting well with a lot of fans and Marvel executives, and I really I don't know what's going to happen because they need to figure out whether or not this actually happened. If it didn't, then either way his image is definitely going to take a hit. But if it does come out to be true, then I can't see them going through with this Hawkeye show.
Well,
like
not
there's
only
no
that,
way they
but
work
you'd
with
think
him.
that they'd either have to kill off Hawkeye in the movies or get some different actor to come in and replace him. But he's been in all of them now, so you feel like they can't replace him.
Well, it's also Hawkeye. They could just straight up like not show him and no one would bat an eye.
Yeah, that's also true. They could just say he's on one of his retreats or whatever.
Yeah, no, you guys, hold on. But you guys keep talking. I want to Google this. I want to figure out, I'll find an article or something that talks about this Jeremy Renner thing.
So ultimately,
Talk about
what
other
are they going
shows
to
you're
try?
excited about
Like
for Disney
Netflix
Plus.
always tries to do its own thing.
What's that, Jesse?
Like Netflix is always trying to do their own thing, right? And everything on Netflix, I think it's by 2020, they want like all Netflix programming or something. Like they'll have shows or whatever, but everything new that goes on will be Netflix made or whatever. So what is Disney? Like, have they talked about what kind of shows they want to put on here? Like, is it only family friendly? Is it
on Disney Plus?
Yeah, on Disney Plus. Like, what kind of shows are they gonna like get into? Because like Netflix makes all kinds of shows and stuff, some of which are much better than others. But is
Disney
that
will
the style
not-
that Disney wants to do?
Disney won't limit themselves. They own Deadpool. They're gonna put Deadpool on there.
Yeah.
Disney owns Deadpool?
Yeah, Fox owns Deadpool.
Yeah.
Disney owns Fox.
Oh, wow.
Which means now Disney can put Spider-Man back in the Marvel movies.
Dude,
Yeah,
I straight up could see Disney just buying Spider-Man from Sony.
I hope so.
Like I think back in
They
like
could.
2009, Disney
I don't know
dropped
why they
like,
don't.
well, I think that in like 2009 or something, Disney dropped about $4.5 billion to buy Marvel.
Yeah.
And then
That paid off.
there was some report that they are considering dropping about $5 billion to buy Spider-Man and associated characters from Sony.
Good Lord.
Yeah, but it would pay off for them. They can make over $1 billion with one Spider-Man movie. It would definitely pay off in a few years.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with all the merchandising, licensing, and all the other stuff that comes
Yep.
with it. But all the Pixar movies are going on to Disney Plus. You know,
Yep.
we're going back to A Bug's Life, all the Cars movies, Finding Nemo, Finding Dory,
Up.
Monsters University, Up, Toy Story, Wall-E, Incredibles.
So-
not to mention all the Pixar short films.
There is something to mention here, though, that like Disney does have a contract with companies like Hulu, Netflix, that they say like, okay, our movie will play exclusively on your platform for like 2, maybe 3 years. So there are some movies, some Marvel movies, some Pixar movies that aren't going to be available on Disney Plus at launch because they have a contract with other companies and they're going to honor that. So
Right.
not everything will be ready to go from day one.
Fair enough, but like the problem with the all these streaming companies, just lump them all together. Netflix, Hulu, who else is in that category?
There's
Amazon Prime.
YouTube
Prime
Red.
Video. Yeah, YouTube Red has some original stuff.
Yeah, YouTube Red,
Apple has their own now.
Apple Plus. Everybody's throwing their hat in the ring.
Yeah, actually, Andrew, you said you just bought an iPhone, right?
Yep.
Starting,
I said that last week.
You did say that last week. Starting
Wink.
November 1st, Apple is launching theirs, and if you buy a new Apple product, you get Apple Plus free for a year. So, Andrew,
Starting
you have
November
a year
1st?
of Apple Plus
Wait,
or Apple TV Plus.
but I didn't buy my phone on November 1st.
Doesn't matter. You bought the iPhone 11, so as soon as November 1st rolls around, you can activate it.
I don't want Apple Plus. I don't even want Apple Music. I just want to have my standard iTunes library.
All right. Well, I mean, you do you, buddy.
I don't want anything.
just
I just
saying-
want VHS tapes and records. And I want the old school Legos that only came in 2x4 and no other configuration.
I want a projector
Sorry.
that only shows silent films from like the 1920s. I want a Nickelodeon in my
Why do you even
in my
want
room.
video? All we need is audio. Our minds can do the rest. Hi ho, Silver. All right, you guys can get back to talk about Disney Plus now.
Well, going back to like all these streaming services, a big problem with a lot of them, especially Netflix, is that the content is where things get very expensive. I think like last quarter alone, Netflix spent over $400 million on content
Holy crap.
alone.
I wonder how much they saw in revenue.
More than that. Definitely.
Well,
more
that's
than
all that matters then.
Yeah, that's basic econ right there.
Right. Well, I mean, Andrew, econ, right? You want to limit all your costs.
Yes.
Right.
You want to minimize your costs for sure.
Minimize your costs, right? So companies like Netflix and Hulu have to.
You know how you minimize your costs?
How's that?
You take the first derivative of your cost function and set it equal to 0, and then solve for the price and quantity. Price and or quantity. That gives you
Did
that.
not know that.
Yep, there you go.
But owning content is really big in this space because you don't have to pay an arm and a leg to stream it to people. And the day of launch, Disney will have more than 7,500 episodes and 500 films.
Good Lord.
From their library within the first year.
And that's the thing. You're talking about, like, you know, companies like that needing content. Like, Disney has no shortage of content.
Absolutely not. Which is why Disney Plus will probably be wildly successful.
Yeah. And I mean, I was looking at something earlier today that they're estimating they're going to have around, well, somewhere between 60 to 90 million subscribers by 2024. Which I think Netflix right now has like 110 million accounts. I'll have to double check that, but I think that's the number. I was talking about it earlier today with the guy I work with, who he really doesn't get the appeal of Disney Plus. He likes to talk crap on it.
For the record.
Well, like,
I'm in the middle.
He brought up a good point about you shouldn't let companies like every company shouldn't be launching their own streaming service, because you're seeing this with like NBC, CBS, so
like
many
HBO.
HBO. So many companies are saying now, okay, well, our own original content, this is the only place you can see it. You pay us, $5-6 a month to get that. It's like, no, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because there's too much of that. No one's going to pay that much for, like, NBC. No one's going to pay $7 a month just to have reruns of The Office. That's like their big selling point,
Mm-hmm.
Disney, I think, is the only company that can really get away with doing that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
they have Deadpool.
Well, okay, what are the big, like, if you're in your 20s or 30s or whatever, you're just like a standard working person, and you have to pick and choose what streaming services you're going to do, because you're right, a lot of people are trying to do them, and you can't, reasonably pay for all of them. Like, what's the big selling?
And we're not going to get cable either.
Right.
Absolutely not.
I would never pay for commercials. No, thank you.
What's the big selling point for going to Disney Plus in terms of shows or movies? Like, why would
content.
I choose? Well, yeah, obviously, but like, it's content anywhere. It's content for Hulu. It's content for Netflix. So what's the Disney content that
there is
makes
no selling point, because you can watch it all online for free.
Well, okay. Well, I guess
Millennial Malarkey does not advocate piracy.
Yeah, I definitely
Piracy
don't.
is not a victimless crime, Jesse.
You wouldn't download a car.
Oh my God. No, but like, what's the Disney specific content that would make me say I'm going to do Disney Plus instead of Netflix?
Pinocchio in 4K.
Like, okay.
Well, that just comes down to your preference.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like, I feel like, I don't know. For me, it seems like a lot of there's these kind of shows like The Mandalorian, if you're into Star Wars, or some of these Marvel ones and stuff like that. But it seems like with the movies and having every Disney Pixar movie, whatever, on there, I almost feel like that's what they're not like what they're trying to push, because they're trying to push the new content. But I feel like that's what they're trying to label. It's like, oh, but like, you get all these classics too. But if you're in your like 20s or 30s or whatever, I think probably like two things. A, you probably don't care to watch those movies anymore that much. And B, you probably already own them on DVD because you got them when you were younger. So why are you going to rehash?
VHS.
Or VHS, yeah. So it's like, why are you going to rehash money to basically you're only getting a couple of new things of content? Like, yeah, they may have 700 and whatever stuff available, but you've already probably seen 700 and, 700 of that, or, whatever the numbers would be. And you probably own a bunch of that already in your movie drawer. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't see the appeal to Disney Plus. I'm sure The Mandalorian's I don't care about Marvel as much as you guys do. So for me, like, the only appealing part to it really would be the Star Wars stuff. So I'm just going to use The Mandalorian for my sake.
Well,
but like, I'm sure it's going to be good, but is that one show for me worth it? No. And on the other side, if you're really into Marvel, or if you're into Marvel and Star Wars, like, does the Scarlet Witch show or WandaVision or whatever, does like that and the Mandalorian like warrant you spending that much money on it? Because then you're just getting a bunch of stuff you've already seen in addition to that.
Right. Well, and then I think the appeal is not just the large library of childhood movies and all that, but Disney has taken a huge initiative to create and keep creating their own content. And something we're forgetting, besides all of their Disney content, all of their Pixar content, all of the Marvel content, all of the Star Wars content, but they also have all of the National Geographic content as well.
That might be one of the things I'm most excited about, honestly. Like all the different
Dude, I
National
love
Geographic
nature
documentaries. Like that stuff's fun.
Yeah, I mean when nothing's on at midnight.
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay, so I think too, Bob Iger, that's his name. He's the CEO of Disney. He has gone on record saying that Disney Plus is going to be treated as the most important product that Disney is using or working on. They're definitely putting an emphasis on this, and I wonder if it's going to be something like going forward, probably not immediately, but going forward, do you guys think that Disney would release new movies simultaneously in theaters and on Disney Plus?
No.
You don't think so?
I mean, you're gonna gouge your box office numbers if you do that.
Well, so think about it this way. Screen Rant has an excellent video that kind of goes into this, but the way they describe it, about, according to, I think, the Wall Street Journal, about half of the revenue that, from buying a movie ticket, it's about $13-14. About half of that is going to go to the theater and half of it's going to go to the company. It's like 40 to 60% either way.
Okay.
So if you're spending about $14 on a movie ticket, then $7 of that is going to Disney, $7 is going to the theater. Most people don't go to theaters anymore. They do, just not as often. It used to be cheaper. It used to be more accessible. It was more of a, maybe go every few weeks kind of thing. That's not the case anymore. People go to the movies maybe 4 or 5 times a year. Because it's more of an event now. It's not like a pastime. It's like an event.
Yeah.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Now I'll let you finish before I go.
So if Disney is making $7 off of a ticket from someone who's going to the movie theater maybe 4 or 5 times a year, wouldn't it make more sense for them to push for a subscription where they could get $7 from that same person 12 times a year instead?
Wait, how do you mean they? Oh, because of the subscription in general, not from that specific movie. I think, I don't know if they will or not. I think it would be a bad move for them because, if someone's paying $7 or whatever for the Disney Plus subscription, let's say, when does Disney Plus launch? It's later, or coming up in a couple weeks, right?
November 12th.
Yeah, November 12th.
November 12th.
This episode is airing on the 6th.
Okay. Sounds right.
Something like that.
So if the 12th comes around and a bunch of people are now signed up and paying $7 a month for it or whatever, and then they come out with, as an example, Avengers 5 or 6 or whatever number a couple years down the road, and they don't put that out in theaters, they're essentially making no extra money from doing that because all these people are already on this platform and paying for the TV shows and stuff like that they want to see. So now if they either release it simultaneously or if maybe extrapolating down the road, they don't even release in theaters at all because they all want it to be exclusive content on this, people have already been paying for it anyway. So essentially it's a big waste and they're not raking in extra money at all. And then you also got to consider that, you can pirate movies and everything like that and music, and that's probably pretty common. But I feel like, honestly, the more common thing is people sharing their passwords to stuff like that. So if I don't care enough about Disney to get the Disney Plus subscription, but I do want to see the Avengers movie that's only on Disney Plus, my first step probably isn't to all of a sudden sign up for Disney Plus. It might be to do a free trial of Disney Plus, see the movie, and then cancel it. Or it might be to hook up with a friend that has it and then just take their username and password. And then it just seems like Disney's not really making any money from movies if they go about it that way. Or they might get a few people to do it, but not enough to, warrant doing it that way.
Yeah,
that's just what I could see happening. Obviously I don't know what would actually happen, but
Well, think about it this way too. Like, I don't think they would ever just not show their movies in theaters because they're not going to shoot themselves in the foot that way. They're going to make money off of it, even if people are, because some people like in a big event movie like Avengers Endgame, like that's something that people may want to see in a theater for the first time, you know?
Right.
Like to experience it in like IMAX or whatever they want. But you have to think too that with having a streaming service like that, Disney can monitor your activity. Like they can see what you're into, what you're watching, all that stuff. They can really kind of get a feel for how to better advertise to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Disney Plus will have ads. I really hope it doesn't, but I'm not positive that that's the case. But you know, whether it's like before a episode or a movie plays or after or whatever the case is, Disney can use that as a platform to push more of their content, more of their products, more of whatever else they want to try to sell you something. They don't have that control in a theater. Yeah, you can see trailers, but they're going to get a much better idea of how to advertise to you in a much more effective way.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
well, I don't think they'll do that, mostly because the consumer doesn't like to be pigeonholed. You know, like put their content in the corner and then put a huge gate around it. You know, like with what EA has done with all their paywalls and all of their video games.
It's not a paywall.
I'm not saying that they're going to stop showing movies in a theater. I'm just saying I think it would make sense for them to simultaneously release on their platform so that people do have that incentive of paying them directly instead of this whole go through the theater and waste another $7.
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I don't think this is something that's going to happen like soon. Maybe in the next few years, I could see them trying to push something like that. Or maybe with like the Screenrant video gives the example of like the Black Widow movie that's coming out, I think next year, or is it 2021?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Good question.
But I don't know. I'm eager for what they do, you know?
Yeah. Jesse, what do you think about all this?
I don't know, man. Like, I'm not looking at the picture. Who cares? Like, I already stated my opinion. I'll just watch. If I really want to watch it, I'll wait and watch it on the internet. I mean, you can laugh at it, but I'm serious. Like, that's my opinion. It's there for free, and like you can trace it or whatever. But who?
Do you think Disney doesn't know about that though?
Like, yeah, they know that people pirate their stuff.
Right. So
And
why
the
not do a
website-
simultaneous release at the same time as a movie so that instead of trying to find some crappy version that someone filmed on their phone in a theater, you have the option to watch it in 4K from your computer?
I mean,
the day it comes out.
Sure, but you'd also have to pay for that. So,
right, Jesse, do you pay for and/or bum any streaming services?
I pay for
anybody?
Netflix, and I don't know why half the time.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, like yesterday I watched El Camino for the first time, and it came out a while ago, but I just turned it on and kind of got hooked in it, and I was like, okay, fine. Like, you've got my attention. This is why I have Netflix, just in case something like this comes out. And my headphones are dying. I'm sorry. Hang on. But anyhow, the gist of it is that just because I have it doesn't mean I use it all the time. And half the time it doesn't honestly seem worth it, but it's annoying to start, stop Netflix. So my opinion of Disney Plus and Netflix and everything else is if you keep splitting across all these different platforms, and you've already hit on it, but I'm not going to buy any of it, and I'm going to find other routes to watch it because there are other routes. I don't care if I watch it in crappy quality. I really don't. Like, I'm listening for a story. I don't have to see like to do that. Like, I grew up on books.
Mm-hmm.
and my imagination and like listening to stories or whatever, and like I can ingest information through that method. I don't have to see it. I just have to hear what's going on to honestly get the plot. So because that's what they're selling me ultimately is a plot. I understand that visual effects are cool, and me of all people, and my love of Pacific Rim and all the little effects that they did. Like, I'm not saying that I wouldn't watch it or pay for it, but if they keep like, oh, hey, we have The Office over here, and we have Parks and Rec, and this company, we have Mad Men, but over here we have your favorite Disney movies. Hey, we're over here. It's just like, just stop. Just either Disney agglomerate everything and be a massive monopoly, and I'll pay for one streaming service, which I don't suggest.
They would rack up the prices because they could. Yeah, that's a monopoly, and that's a no-no.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah,
but I'm saying
I think the FCC.
Yeah, good try.
FCC. Thank you.
Well, I'm just saying I understand that, and I've listened to history lessons. I know they're bad. But the point being, like, either you do that and I get it all from one source, or I continue going to my as is one source and get what I want, watch it when I want to, and then move on. And honestly, I've kind of gotten
then
out
go
of
bury some treasure,
and then
and get scurvy.
Yeah, and get scurvy. I don't see this as it's the same way with video games, and it may have been an episode that we didn't air or whatever, but like everything's moving towards like a subscription based thing, and I'm not interested in it. If I'm buying access, I want unlimited access. I don't want ads. I don't want anything else. I want it for a low price, and I don't want to have to go 6 different places to watch 6 different shows. I think it's really stupid. So I really could care less about half the stories they're trying to tell me anyway, because everything seems so cheesy nowadays.
See, I think it would make the most sense for like, I think that the biggest obstacle for Disney Plus is Netflix, right? I think that it makes the most sense for companies like NBC, whoever else, that they would take all of their content and put it into Netflix. That it would have a chance then of these two giants, Netflix and Disney, standing against each other. And then you get that healthy, capitalist competition between those two.
You forgot about Apple Plus and Amazon Prime.
Dude, I don't even know with them. Like Apple.
Oh, okay.
Apple has like a few TV shows and stuff, or I actually don't even know what all they have. I know they have a movie called C with Jason Momoa, and it looks interesting, but I'm not going to get Apple TV Plus just for that,
Yeah, that as Jesse was going on, you actually really hit home, Jesse, and I'm actually I was kind of excited moving away from all these cable companies to subscription-based services. But it is kind of ticking me off because I want a little slice of everything. Each provider has at least one good show that I want to watch, right? Like Disney Plus has all these Marvel shows that I want to watch. Netflix has Stranger Things. Apple Plus has what was that show? Dickinson. It looks really interesting to me.
Sure.
But if I get a subscription to all 3 of these services, all of a sudden I'm paying somewhere around, what I would be paying for cable.
Yeah, well, and I mean, think too, I feel like a lot of people with Netflix and stuff like that have they probably watch a lot on there, but there's really like 2 or maybe 3 shows or something like that they binge watch, and then they just kind of cycle through those. At least that's what I've been doing, and especially as Netflix has gotten rid of, shows like Scrubs and The League and, all It's Always Sunny. It's just kind of like, okay, watch The Office, done with that, watch Parks and Rec, done with that, watch another show and then repeat. And I don't know exactly how long I've had my subscription, but it's been years and years of it, and paying those fees monthly. At some point, it just gets cheaper to say, well, hey, if I'm only watching these 2 shows, why don't I just buy them all on disc? I can watch them however I want, and I'm not continually paying for them too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. At some point, I feel like people are going to take a hard look at why it is that they have these subscription services and find the most affordable way to continue to have as much access to them as possible, whether that's going to some kind of sketchy sites, or that's, bumming a password off of a friend, or that's just straight up buying it. People will find a better way to do it than to start committing all over the place.
Because people have commitment issues.
That's truth.
Hashtag truth. I don't know. I'm beginning to become pessimistic about all this now. I was excited at the beginning. Now I'm all sad and pessimistic about.
Do you want to hug Adam?
Adam, let me cheer you up. The world is going to hell in a handbasket, and everybody dies one day. Do you feel better yet?
No.
Well, the sooner you accept it, the sooner you'll feel better.
I just want like a cat to pet or a dog to pet. Or
no, you don't.
I don't know.
He just crapped on my floor, so you don't want that.
No, okay. Fair enough. Anyway, well, let's wrap it up with a would you rather question.
Sounds good.
Yay! Back to our tradition.
Yes. Coming in hot. Who wants it first?
Jesse does.
I do, but I don't like the way you phrased that. Continue.
Would you rather be a famous director or a famous actor?
Clint Eastwood's pretty cool, and he's both. So, let's see. Do I prefer his acting or do I prefer his directing? He typically acts in everything he directs. I'd say famous director. Probably make more.
Director.
Probably make more money.
In it for the money.
Oh yeah, I mean, you think Robert Downey Jr. got paid a lot of money? Somebody had to foot his bill for Avengers Endgame. Russo brothers are not living light anymore.
That is true.
So,
Alec.
Yeah, I want to say director. I think that's an easy choice for me. I see it as like, as a director, you can give yourself little cameos like Taika Waititi or Tarantino does that. M. Night Shyamalan. Like, there's a lot of these like really famous directors that like continuously give themselves little cameos that you can essentially be an actor, but also have complete control over the project. I like that.
Fair enough. Andrew?
I'd rather be a famous actor because I feel like two things. One, in general, actors are probably more recognizable. Like, I mean, if you're a top tier director, people know who you are. But like if you're mid or, bottom tier director, probably not as instantly recognizable and kind of like, openly famous. Whereas
right.
For like,
well, the question, I will stop you here. The question does stipulate famous.
Okay. Well, regardless, I'd rather be an actor because then the second reason is that I feel like it would, not to offend any actors that might be listening, but I feel like it's probably an easier job. Like you don't have to think as much about it. You just have to do what people tell you. And I'm all about being famous without putting much effort into it. So
I was waiting to say
Hey, how's the band going, Andrew?
I'm actually putting effort into that, and it's not going great. Actually, I'm very optimistic about things right now because we've kind of changed plans a little bit. Had someone else come along to the group, and we're playing a lot, at least practicing a lot, and getting some sets together, and we're sounding tight, which is good. So I'm actually super excited right now. But thanks for asking, Adam. Where would you fall in this decision?
Famous actor, definitely. Because they're the ones getting the screen time, Yeah. If you're going to be famous, you want people to like stop you in the street and be like, Adam, I want a picture with you, or here, sign my forehead. I don't know.
You do want that? You do it first.
Well, I just want it so I can hire Dwayne The Rock Johnson as my bouncer.
Wouldn't you rather control from the shadows with your infinite wealth, where people leave you alone?
Seems very ominous.
You think George Lucas isn't running some third world country right now with his Skywalker Ranch? It's all a coup, people. Wake up. Words aren't real.
Okay.
I don't know where that came from.
So next week will be Conspiracy Corner.
Apparently.
Still about Reese's though, right?
Yeah, it's still about racist.
Join us next week where we just have audio of us vomiting from eating so much Reese's.
Oh my god, that would. No, but like, think about it. Like, yeah, you can be the one famous and whatever, but people still like go after George Lucas and like they think he's famous. Like, I'm sorry, they think he is famous, but like it's kind of not the same. You're not going to deal with the fame. You still get the money. And like you can just kind of have like your a little bit more peaceful life. Now I'm only joking about the controlling from the shadows that you know of, but the gist of it is like you'll have the fame, a little bit less obviously, but you'll have the money, and then you can just live your life still, and just like do what you want. So unless you also combine and be a famous actor.
Fair enough. I mean, I wouldn't mind being on TMZ or whatever, but I guess, I'm not famous, so it hasn't gotten old on me yet.
This week on TMZ, Adam butt dials President Obama, and here's the conversation that followed.
Wait, Jesse, no, we're backing up. The what Obama?
We used to call friends that I have used to call the president President.
President?
They made weird names for everything. So, like, I don't know. Speaking of which, I have a question. I know that we're supposed to be ending, but like, I have a real quick question. What is Obama's last name?
All right, see you guys next week.
Did it for the meme, boys. Gotcha.
Bye.
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 I'm still here, controlling from the shadows.